The Dodgers get the walk-off win thanks to Will Smith's pinch hit home run at the bottom of the ninth. The Dodgers offense were cold at parts throughout. They thought they had done enough, but Tanner Scott blows the lead for the 8th time this season after Kirby Yates blew it last night. We've got exclusive reaction from Tanner Scott. We're going to talk about this Dodgers bullpen. And we're also going to talk about the signing of Walker Buehler going to the Philadelphia Phillies. Could the Dodgers see Walker Buehler in the postseason? So much to get into here. We got updates on Roki, Sasaki, Max Muncy, all that more coming up next on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball. Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball. The Dodgers are building a dynasty.
You got it, Warrior Parade! We got it, Parade! The Dodgers punch back and head to the championship series! Ohtani starts the 50-50 club! Monkey magic! Freeman hits the ball, right field! She is gone! Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers podcast and Dodgers show on YouTube. My name is Doug McKain. I cover the Dodgers for Dodgers Nation, a credentialed member of the media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Thanks for rocking with us after the Dodgers get the walk-off over the Diamondbacks. They win by a final score of 5-4. Will Smith, who had the day off, he comes in a pinch hit situation after the Dodgers had blown the lead. Trust me, we'll talk a lot about that. And Smitty saved the day.
Hits this ball in the air. Left center field. Game over. Pinch hit walk-off. Will Smith. Okay, let's go. Let's go home.
His 17th home run of the year changed a lot. This Dodgers team, they had not gone 3 games without a home run since June. You had Will Smith come off the bench, his 6th walk-off home run, his 6th walk-off in his career with the Dodgers. And this is a guy that I dub the clutch prince, someone that you know is going to come up in a big spot when you need him the most. He has that ability to slow that heartbeat down and go up there and execute. And you just hope that he would kind of wipe away the issues of the day for the Dodgers, because this is a Dodgers team that the offense just did not do quite enough. I mean, the first 2 games, they were non-existent. And this one, they were able to get after the starting pitcher. But for the Dodgers, to have Will Smith on this team playing in a role where, yes, you're getting time off during the year, and Dalton Rushing has been more than capable, I think, as a game caller. I heard a lot of stuff from people in the Dodgers that just really sing his praises as a game caller and how he handles the pitchers. And yes, even though the offense hasn't been where you probably want it to be, he has definitely trended in the right direction. And to have someone like Will Smith have this moment when he had been mired in a slump this month, I think it's big, because he's someone that you want to see have a big moment heading into September where he can get hot again, because August was not a great month for Smith. So for him to cap this off, I think is massive for him. And he's really historic. I mean, you go all the way back to 1912. The Dodgers have 25 pinch hit walk-off home runs. 25 pinch hit walk-off home runs since 1912. And Smitty, my doppelganger, has 4 of them. 2019, 2021, this year against the Padres on June 18th, and then to this afternoon against the Arizona Diamondbacks. So incredible stuff from Will Smith. He's just really the guy outside of maybe Freddie Freeman. I mean, he's definitely in the conversation for Dodgers you would want up there in a big spot. So Will Smith is massive, and here was him talking to Dave Vassegh after the game.
Well, you saw the second pitch of that at-bat. 4th time in your career you've hit a walk-off home run. What were you seeing in that at-bat? What were you seeing in preparation for that at-bat?
Yeah, I was getting ready for South Frank in the bullpen. They sent Curtis out. Yeah, turned on a heater. About it.
How did it feel to be out there? There you go, Will. That was sweet. Newest teammate, Alex Call, getting you. I'm sure that never gets old. How did it feel to be mobbed and celebrated by your teammates at home plate?
That was good. We needed that. The early lead, we gave it up, but walk out of here with the win today is big. Going on the road, salvage the series.
You've had a knack since your rookie year in 2019 to do what you did today. How do you do it? How do you slow the pulse?
Just breathe, remain calm. Hunt your pitch, what you're looking for, and that's it.
Hey, congratulations. It was about time you got to work today.
I know, right? That's it.
There he goes, Will Smith. What a walk-off home run by one of the most clutch players in Major League Baseball.
You got to love it because, like I said, this could have been a very dark, a very unhappy, a very frustrating post-game show, and I know that you guys out there will be lighting up the comments, as you should still, but the fact that you salvaged this series, you're able to get a win, it was extremely important because you get that win and you're still able to maintain a 2-game lead in the National League West. The Dodgers sitting at 78-59 up on that Padres team at 76-61. And yes, as we talked about for weeks now, the fact that you have that tiebreaker, that's essentially a 3-game lead against the San Diego Padres. And look, all in all, you did go 4-2 in this homestand, and now, too, you're a game and a half behind the Philadelphia Phillies in the division. So there are some rough patches in this stretch, and after that 4-game winning streak, you're hoping that they would do a little better to capitalize on that and really kind of go on a run, but still, you were able to take the last game of this series. The Padres, we know, after the Padres play the Dodgers, they kind of check out sometimes. So we know that that tends to be the case, and you'll be able to kind of have your way with them. So it's just about really just not tanking, not going into a long losing streak where you're just going to completely fall off a cliff. As long as you avoid that, you should be in a pretty good spot. But that was huge. Now, also, too, it does not go unnoticed by me. Yes, everyone's going to talk about the Will Smith home run, and rightfully so. But let's not forget that Blake Trinan, after a lot of these guys that have come back, Kirby Yates and Tanner Scott, have not come through in big spots, Blake Trinan goes up there in the 9th inning, and he sets that up with a 1-2-3 inning. Blake Trinan, I think, looked good in this one. I think he was massive in this one. So it was great to see him come through in a big spot and not put the Dodgers in a situation where you have to come back. I mean, the Dodgers never trailed in this game. I think it's important to realize that, but Blake Trinan goes up there in the top of the 9th inning. He goes 1-2-3, struck out. He struck out Lawler, got him with a nasty sweeper swinging, so he was massive. But welcome to the Dodgers Nation post-game show, Dodgers Dugout Live. Let's read some comments, and then we will hear from Tanner Scott. We got Ken Tanker, 75, $5 super chat. Can Yates and Scott go back to the Phantom IL? Matty Man, 5 Dodge. Smith should have never had the day off. We've got Nando in the chat. Thank you, Will Smith from Carl. Jerome, DFA, Conforto, DFA, Scott, ASAP. We've got Tanner Scott has been basura. That's from Jacob over on YouTube. Tanner Scott blew his 8th save. He is garbage. So you guys are going hard on Tanner Scott. Let's go, D-Mac. What's up, Axel? What's up, Dodgers Nation? Here on this Labor Day weekend, rocking with us. Love that. But okay, let's talk some Tanner Scott because he has returned from the IL, and the hope was that he had felt as good as he had all year, right? He had a little inflammation in the arm, and that he felt a little sting and things like that, and he did miss some time. And the hope was that, okay, you caught this thing, and you kind of allow him to reset a little bit, and that he would come back and mechanically he'd be sound, and the stuff would improve just a little bit. But today, all of a sudden, it looked like he was going to be able to do his job. He was tasked to get through that 8th inning with the Dodgers up 4-1, and he got the first 2 outs, and it was pretty easy. He got Lawler to fly out. He was efficient, got up in the count. That was the first out. He gets him out on 3 pitches. And then Vargas, he hit from McCarthy, and then Vargas, again, up in the count, 1-2. 4th pitch, goes with a 4-seamer up in the zone. He flies out. So on 7 pitches, he got the first 2 outs. And then things started to happen. Then the wheels started to fall off for Tanner Scott's appearance. Perdomo, he singled to right. And on that pitch, the velocity looked pretty decent. He was hitting 98, and the location little up, but still it looked better from a just overall life standpoint than it did the last time we saw him before he went on the IL. And then the next batter, Marte, first pitch, this is not a well-executed pitch. It was a four-seam fastball, middle, Marte singles to left, so back-to-back singles after getting the first two outs. And then Corbin Carroll, 1-1 count, third pitch, and it's a four-seam fastball, up center cut, and he crushes it for a 3-run shot. That ties the game at 4, and just like that, Tanner Scott blows another lead. A bloop single, a ground ball single, and just like that, Corbin Carroll sees a fastball right down center cut, and he crushes a 3-run bomb. Dodger Stadium was stunned. Social media was going crazy. The not-so-great Scott, and it was his 8th blown save of the season. That's one shy of the major league lead. He has a 4.44 ERA this year. He's allowed 9 home runs, 9 bombs, and 113 batters faced this season. That's one bomb that he's served up every 12.6 plate appearances. You compare that to last year. He gave up last season 6 home runs and 601 batters faced. Where the hell is that Tanner Scott? If you've seen 2024 Tanner Scott, please take him to 1000 Vince Scully Avenue and put him into that bullpen. Let me say that one more time. Last year, Tanner Scott allowed 6 home runs and 601 plate appearances. This year, he's allowed 9 home runs and 113 batters faced this season. I mean, you just look at the difference there. I mean, he's just given up way too many home runs. And last couple of years, I mean, he had an ERA over around 2. He was widely considered to be one of the elite relievers in Major League Baseball. And unfortunately, he just has not been that with the Dodgers after signing that $72 million contract. And what really scares me, what has me looking at the fan going around at 3:30 in the morning when I can't sleep, is the thought of Tanner Scott being in a postseason game and you give up a costly home run. You saw last night Kirby Yates give up the bomb, and both of those guys with ERAs closer to 5 than 3. And Kirby Yates was a $13 million one-year signing. Scott was a $72 million signing. You were hoping those guys would be at least good. Like, their floor was supposed to be good, right? They've been both bad. I mean, to this point, both of them have underperformed, and both of them have been a disappointing signing so far. And there's no doubt about it. There's no way to sugarcoat that. I mean, you sign a guy and you make him one of the highest paid relievers in the sport, and he's one shy of having the league lead when it comes to blown saves. So even the biggest Dodger State TV homerism Dodgers show wouldn't be able to spin the fact that Tanner Scott has not delivered on being an elite bullpen piece. And hopefully that turns around. We did see a stretch this year where he did put together a sub-2 ERA for almost a month, and things were looking better, and he kind of changed his mechanics, and he kind of wasn't opening up and flying out as much. But yeah, I think the end-all be-all with Tanner Scott, my biggest takeaway for Scott, is that his stuff just isn't good enough his stuff just is not good enough to get away with misses. And today was an example of that. They wanted it up and away, and it ends up center cut. And when he misses a pitch, it's getting crushed. And that is the big issue, is when you're throwing 100, 101, or the stuff has a lot of spin, has a lot of movement, and you miss, you're probably not going to get pummeled as much, right? You're going to probably live to see another pitch. With Tanner Scott, for whatever reason, when he leaves it in the zone this year, opponents are crushing. And I will say, I still believe in him, and I'm going to be probably one of the only people in Dodgers land that's going to stick by him, because I do think that I've seen him put in his work. I've seen the confidence that he has in himself. I've seen him go out there and pitch well at times for this team. It's just getting back to that every single appearance. And I think a positive you could spin is the velocity is up. And the velocity was down early on the season, but today he maxed out at 98.7 miles per hour. He averaged 98 on that four-seamer. The velocity was up 1.6 miles per hour on that four-seamer and 2 miles per hour on that slider. It's just the location, the command wasn't there, and you're going to need to get to the bottom of that. And if taking something off the four-seam fastball leads to better command, then you have to consider that. Because the best version of Tanner Scott is where he can live off the plate, but he gets chased, similar to what you see with Blake Snell when he's on. But I don't know how they're going to do it, but they got to get the best version of Scott. They got to get him right, and they've got a month to do it. But this is exclusive from the Dodgers clubhouse. Here was Tanner Scott just moments ago from the Dodgers clubhouse.
Why do you think that so many of those fastballs have been missed over the middle for you this year?
I don't know. I mean, that one probably should have went with the slider, but you trust the fastball and just basically put it down the middle. Basically down the middle.
How frustrating has the home run problem been this year? You just kind of attributed to like too many misses over the middle.
It's super frustrating. I mean, I think you never want to see the ball leave the park, and especially in that situation, and it's super frustrating. Just gotta go out there and fix it.
You said earlier it was delivery when it came to location, missing middle. What do you think it was tonight?
So I got no clue. If you know, you can tell me, but I mean, terrible pitch.
You've been walking a lot less this year. Walking batters a lot less. What's been the difference this year as far as maybe leaving too many pitches in the zone?
Yeah, I guess I'm throwing too many strikes, and it's not always the best thing.
Thanks, Dennis.
So if you guys have watched this show all year, you hear the question Dave asked, say, ask Tanner Scott. I have also asked Tanner Scott that question, and I've been saying that all year if you've been watching this show, and that is that some pitchers can't live in the zone too much. You can't always try to throw strikes. The art is the deception, and that's how it's been for Tanner Scott. Really, the knock on Scott was that the walk rate was too high, but it did not tell the story about his effectiveness. Now hitters know that he's working in the zone. So hitters are in the box and they're looking for stuff. In the past, they were like, oh, do you off-rat things because he's probably going to be off the plate? And then when he is in the zone, then he catches you off guard with that back foot slider and when he's elevating that fastball. So I've said it all year. I've said this all year about Tanner Scott, is that he's throwing too many strikes. He needs to go back to the attack plan when he was with the Padres, when he was with the Marlins, where he's using his stuff, four-seam slider, but he's using it off the plate, and he's going in the zone in certain spots, and when he is, he's hitting it with command. But look, the bottom line, the end-all with Tanner is they need to find a way to get the version that they thought they were going to get, okay? Because right now, it's not the Tanner Scott that they thought they had signed. They thought they were getting Marlins and Padres guy. And he's not a double agent from the Padres. He's someone that needs to go back to pitching like he had. And that's the thing. So that's why I am actually still encouraged as far as what they can get from him. Because I would go back and I would go batter for batter, like today for Corbin Carroll. You throw him a fat fastball in the zone. How would you have attacked this same hitter in the same situation last year with the Padres and the last couple of years with the Marlins? Would you have gone four-seamer in the zone? Would you have maybe got him to try to chase a slider off the plate? They have to get the Dodgers always kind of stick to, okay, we are the smartest guys in the room. We're going to try to get you to pitch our way. The truth is, Kirby Yates and Tanner Scott, they pitched worse since joining the Dodgers. So maybe it's Scott and Yates that need to have some more input with their attack plan and go back to a way of going to attack hitters that had worked for them in years past. So I'm hoping to see them almost say, okay, you know what? Let's go back to what worked, because this isn't working and it's not going to work, and it could be a potential disaster for the Dodgers in the postseason. So red flag, sirens are alarmed. There's supposed to be two key cogs that need to step up and make pitches when they need to. Evan Phillips is gone. Brock Stewart, he was here for a couple appearances, didn't look great, and has been injured. Like, they need Tanner Scott and Kirby Yates to be good, and they need to get back to the drawing board and how to make them good. And I think that I cannot stress it enough. It is of the utmost importance, okay? All right, so major positive. Yoshinobu Yamamoto. What more can you say about this guy? He was a flat-out stud for the Dodgers. He has been everything that you would have hoped he would be. He's a surefire ace in this sport, and we're only in year 2. And he was able to get 4 runs. I mean, 4 runs for Yamamoto probably felt like 40 runs. He got 4 runs in this one. He has the lowest run support in the National League, in the league. I mean, just don't give him runs. It's the mark of being a Dodgers ace. We've seen it so many years with Clayton Kershaw where the ace of the Dodgers didn't get run support. Well, Yamamoto must be the ace because he's not getting run support now. Well, today he was fantastic. He had 10 strikeouts. It was the 3rd time this year that he had 10 punch-outs. That matches a career high in the show. He gave up 1 run on 4 hits, had no walks. He completed 7 innings. 7 innings. He completed 7 innings for the 7th time this year. Just think about that. In a year where it feels like 6 innings is getting length out of a starter, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, in a year where Blake Snell missed significant time, Glasnow missed significant time, Shohei didn't start pitching until late, Kershaw didn't start pitching until late, Yamamoto has pitched the entire year. He's looking even better as the year has gone along, and he's gone 7 innings 7 times, and now he's at 146 2/3 innings on the year. That is more than anyone on the team by a landslide. And you look at last year when he did miss all that time, it was Gavin Stone who had the most innings pitched, and he's even surpassed his total. So this is kind of old school now to see a guy pitch more than 130 innings. I know it sounds insane for my longtime baseball fans, but 146 2/3 from Yamamoto is really impressive because the Dodgers, think about this. The Dodgers haven't had a pitcher qualify for the pitching leaderboards where you have 1 inning per game since Tyler Anderson and Julio Urias did it in 2022. I mean, that's just insane. That's insane. Yamamoto could be that first guy. For people that are worried about his workload overall, I mean, he was an absolute workhorse in Japan. He was at 186 innings around that in his final 3 years for his Oryx Buffaloes in Japan. So, I mean, this is a guy that has pitched a ton of innings for years. I mean, 193 2/3 in 2021. So everyone out there that's kind of freaking out, I see it over everywhere. Oh, you got to rest this guy. This is what this guy does. I mean, he takes care of his body. You see him out there stretching and throwing javelins and doing long toss. That's what he does. And I'm very confident he is going to be just fine because the velocity's there. The splitter was back today. I mean, the fastball command was back today. You just look at some of his pitches in this one. It's so nasty. I mean, top of the 2nd inning, that splitter to get Locklear, nasty, 92 down in the zone. He paired that with a cutter, a slider. I mean, top of the 3rd inning, got Thomas swinging, 4-seam fastball, 97 in the zone. This guy's got everything. He really does. He has all the pitches that you want. He's got fastball, splitter, slider, yo-yo curveball. I mean, he's a master at his craft. He's one of my favorite pitchers I've ever seen pitch for this organization, and he's not afraid of the moment. He's like, no run support, doesn't matter. I'm going to go out there and do my thing. So here is Yoshinobu Yamamoto after the game, and then we're going to continue to talk about this Dodgers offense and everything we saw this series. But here was Yoshi after the game.
Yoshinobu, you pitched well again, consecutive Sundays. Last Sunday you said you raised your mental focus. Did you have the same type of mental approach today?
前回の日曜日の登板に続いて今日も素晴らしかったんですけども、前回そのメンタルの面なんとか保っていきたいということだったんですけど、前回同様今日もメンタル面では同じ、いい状態で臨みました。
しっかり1週間練習、できたので、自信を持ってマウンドに、上がることができましたし、初回からいい立ち上がりができて、7回まで、投げられたので、はい、全体的に良かったと思います。
I use it, rest of the week very wisely, and then I got myself ready for today's outing, and then I think everything worked out.
What was working so well for you today? Was it the fastball playing off the split-fingered fastball, or was it the other way?
今日何が一番良くてここまでできたのかっていうところで、ストレートが良かったからスプリットが生きたのか、その逆だったのかどっちでしょう。
どの球もこうなんていうんだろう、まっすぐは かりスプリットがなんていうんだろうなを反応よくできたと思いますし、変化球も良かったので、まっすぐも結構どんなカウントでも、思い切ってゾーンに投げていけましたし、しっかりこうなんていうんだろうないいコンビネーションといいますか、そんな感じですかね。
I think, because overall, all my pitches are pretty good, very sharp today. And then my fastball was, of course, good. That's why, because I was able to make Splitter stand out.
How have you been able to stay this strong for every start this season and to be pitching at your best this late in the season?
この時期にやっぱこれだけのパフォーマンスができるっていうところで、そこはどういうふうに体調を維持したり準備しているんですか？
コンディションだったり、その体調の面は変わらず春からずっといい状態をキープできてますし、フォームは多少波が、あったりも、しましたけど、ここ最近は、明確に、これだっていう感覚が出てますし、とにかくこう、ピッチングの、どの面も、すごくいい方向に行ってるなと感じています。
I mean, since the beginning of the season, even like a spring training, because I've been just maintaining my condition physically and mentally, and then I think that's なんでしたっけ、さっきから良くて、
なんて言ったかな、なんて言ったっけな、フォームの面もいろんな面全部いい。
And then mechanically sometimes goes off, but then because I just work things back to where it should be, so I think that's why I've been able to perform this at this level.
Dave said he feels like you've been throwing fewer non-competitive pitches. Is that just a sign you're executing better, or have you tried to attack a little bit more, in and around the strike zone?
監督がすごいいい状態でこれだけのパフォーマンスができているところで、他のピッチャーにはできないようなパフォーマンスができているというところですけども、それはやっぱストライクゾーンを積極的に進めていっているっていうところが関係しています。
もちろんボールのゾーンも使いながら、今日とかはなんていうんだろう、ボール球もしっかり振らしたり、することができましたし、しっかりピッチングというところにおいてなんていうんだろう、いろんな、なんていうんだろう、技的な部分が、すごくうまくいってるかなと思います。
I think because I've been able to not only in the strike zone, but that out of the zone, I've been able to using very efficiently, and then I think that's it. Because the pitching technical part is working for me.
Thank you.
There was Yoshinobu Yamamoto. His numbers on the year: a 2.82 ERA, a 3.04 FIP, a 3.07 expected FIP. He's been fantastic. You paid for an ace, you got an ace, and I don't think it even matters DS or the CS. He's going to go out there and perform. I still believe Shohei Ohtani. I like him early on in the season in a series, and I think Blake Snell too. But if Yoshinobu Yamamoto, you want to reward him with a Game 1 start because you know what he looks like in Game 1s, you know that he's going to give you this type of effort, then you got to feel good about going 1-0 in a series. So that's another thing that you want to consider as well is, hey, which guy do you think gives you the best chance of going 1-0 and giving you the best chance of taking a lead? That could be Yamamoto. So I would have no issue going him in the first game. He also has some really good home road splits. I mean, you could throw him in anywhere. I think he's the most interchangeable. We know that he would have no issue doing anything to help this team. So he's been fantastic. Now, as far as the offense goes, I mean, like I said, it was a rough weekend. You had no runs against the first two Diamondback starters this series, Zach Gallen and Eduardo Rodriguez. They had just 6 hits in 12 innings. So just 6 hits in 12 innings against Galentine's Day and Erod on Friday and Saturday. And today was a different story. It was a different story. I mean, you had some hard-fought at-bats against Brandon Pfaadt. Okay, I'll give myself a bruh for that one. But Brandon Pfaadt, he left the game in the 5th inning. The Dodgers, they started the offensive effort early on with a single by Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts. He comes up and you get another single, so back-to-back single to start things off. And then an RBI double from Freddie Freeman. That started the scoring early for the Dodgers. And then Andy Pages, he grounded out. That scored a second run in the 1st inning. So an RBI single in the 5th inning. So, I mean, that already puts you up. And then Miguel Rojas, he singled home Alex Call later in this one. And that was interesting because Alex Call started in place of Teoscar Hernandez, who has been scuffling at the plate. Dave already said he's going to be in the lineup on Tuesday in Pittsburgh. But Rojas had 2 hits there batting 9th. Alex Freeland had a couple of hits, 2 batting 7th. So it wasn't a great offensive showing for this team, but I think the biggest thing was getting those runs early. The Pages ground out, scoring Betts. That made it 2-0. And then later in this one, you get some runs after the Rojas single to right. That made it 3-1. And then Pages single to left in the 5th inning. And that was after a leadoff single by Mookie Betts. It was actually a good day at the plate for Mookie Betts, who got a couple of hits. So 4 runs from this offense, then you got the big walk-off late. I think the big critical moment for Yamamoto came in the 4th inning after he struck out Perdomo. Marte, little bush league, whatever, but he gets on base. He breaks up a perfect game no-hitter that he had going there. Yes, it's really early for that, but they were playing back, and Marte reached on a bunt single. Then Carroll singled. Then he struck out Alexander, and then Del Castillo singled to right. That scored Marte to make it a 2-1 game. But then with runners on the corners, he shows that strikeout ability, that big stuff, if you know what I mean, that Yamamania stuff, by striking out Locklear with that splitter with runners on the corners. So that was kind of the critical spot there for Yamamoto in this one. But let's go to you guys, and then we're going to hear from Dave Roberts here. I'm interested to see what he has to say about Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And then Walker Buehler has a new team, and it is a team that is a threat to the Dodgers. So we will talk about that, but I want to get a couple of your comments here in just a second. So let's see what we got here, guys, on the comment section. We've got, here we go. We got Taste In and bruh, you can't save a guy who sucks, okay? We got D-Mac. Sounds like you're putting the blame on Mark Pryor. I'm not, actually. Mark Pryor is one of the best in the game. But I also think, too, that I'm just stating facts. The fact is that Tanner Scott was one of the very best relievers in the sport, and when he was, it was with a pitching style where his walks were higher because he was working off the plate. A lot of that was intentional. Now he's working in the zone and trying to throw strikes, and his strikes are getting hit hard, and that's, I think, part of the problem. I do. Kentangra 75, come on and play the Yoshi song. He deserved it. I don't have it queued up. The Yoshinobu Yam. I saw some people in the chat getting offended by that. I can tell you firsthand, Yoshinobu Yamamoto likes that song and the parody of that song. So anyone that's offended by that Yoshinobu Yamamoto song that was done by the Yoshinobu Yamamoto impersonator, Yoshi loves that song. It's not offensive to anyone. I mean, 2025 is hilarious. People getting offended over anything. It's the funniest thing ever. It's so stupid. But Yoshi loves that song. I'll bring it back next good start, okay? Not a Scott fan, but Yates is arse. Okay, we got that's on DR. Scott is still a Padre at heart. We got Nico Suave. We need him. Conforto. Guys aren't a fan of him. Yeah, look at the Dodgers box score in this one. Shohei goes 1 for 4. Betts 2 for 4. Freeman 1 for 3. Pies 1 for 4. Conforto 0 for 1. He was pinch hit when you had a Kike going to left and went 0 for 2. By the way, see Kike, his daughter, throw out the first pitch. That was awesome. Call went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Freeland 2 for 4 with 2 Ks. Rushing 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. Smitty, of course, had the bomb. And Rojas 2 for 3 with the strikeout, but he was massive. The Dodgers 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position. 6 runners left on base in this one. And Blake Trinan gets the win. He goes 1-2 on the year. 8 pitches to get through that 9th inning. I thought he was fantastic. Tanner, I love the Padres Scott. Okay, you guys all saying the Padres Tanner Scott thing. All right, let's do like 10 more. I'm going to read 10 more comments here. We'll listen to Dave Roberts, and we'll talk some Walker Buehler. And you guys can continue to enjoy your Labor Day weekend. We will have Dodgers Dugout live tomorrow morning on Labor Day. So we got our 10 big takeaways. We're talking a lot of awesome stuff for sure. Where were you yesterday, D-Mac? No show after loss. May, Johnny, you guys know. So if either you're new to the show, I actually prefer doing shows after losses. So anyone that says that I wasn't here after loss, no, that's not why I didn't do a show. I mean, I worked 32 straight days, and I had to be somewhere for something. But no, I actually prefer doing the show after losses. I actually like it because then I can actually say some things that I actually truly feel about certain situations that it's harder to do after a win. So everyone who knows me, everyone who's been watching the show for years now knows that actually I don't prefer them to lose. I'd rather they win every single game. But as far as kind of taking that truth serum and giving out the honest opinions about certain things, it comes out a little more naturally after losses. So no one was hiding after a loss. I've never done that, and I never would do that. So yeah, I think we've done like 90% of the games this year. But okay, Will Smith needs a raise. Ohtani money. Tanner Scott is not a Dodgers pedigree player. Can't handle the pressure on being on an elite team. That's from Dodger Fanatic 1. Moose 1032. Yates shouldn't make the postseason roster. It's possible if he doesn't get his act together, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, I think that's definitely on the table. No doubt about that. Feels so bad for Yama. He never gets run support. Yeah. I mean, today got a little bit, and he's been fantastic for sure. Dodger Forever. Doug, trying to stay positive. Happy for Freeland Smith, Mookie Paz, Rojas, of course, Yamamoto. Roberts made good moves in benching Teo and pinch hitting Smith. That's the thing. I mean, no one never talks about that. I didn't see one person say, wow, great move for Dave Roberts to pinch hit with Smith. I think Alex Call, I think he went 0 for 4, but I think the good move of that is that it resets Teo a little bit. And we'll talk some Teo yesterday. D-Mac, you said it was one of the best relievers. Yeah, we'll see how it looks. He was. I mean, statistically was heading into this year. There's no doubt about that. But all right, let's hear from Dave Roberts. Curious to see what he has to say about Tanner Scott. And then we will talk some Walker Buehler.
Where you're at in the calendar with 25 games to go and just the way things turn so quickly. How big was that swing by Will Smith?
It was a huge swing. I always say the game honors you, and Will's been going through it, but he's been working his tail off. And, today he reaped some benefit. And so it was really good to see from a guy who's an all-star player who's ready when called upon and delivered in a big moment, which he's done. But Yoshinobu was fantastic. We needed a great start from him, and he gave that to us. And so, for us to, find a way to win that ball game was big for all of us, and kind of hopefully build some momentum into this road trip.
Will's been doing that since his rookie year, walk-off weekend in 19. What is it about him that he can deliver in those situations?
I think he's got a calm heartbeat. He's not afraid to fail. He loves being in that moment, and he's always a good choice, and has obviously come up with a lot of big hits, and that was a big one.
This is a stretch of 2 months where there's been, I guess, an imbalance in the way this team has played. Is it frustrating that it seems like every day there's like one other fire to put out? Today it was the relief pitching.
It sort of each night it seems like there's something else that it's not all put together in one particular for a longer stretch. Tanner got 2 quick outs, and then there was the dump single, and then the first pitch middle heater to Marte, and then he leaves a fastball, gets ahead, then leaves a fastball middle to Corbin Carroll, and then you got a new ball game. So so fortunately we came back, and it doesn't take away from Yoshinobu what he did, and it doesn't take away from the at-bats that we had today. I thought today there was a lot of fight. I thought Miguel Rojas is playing his tail off with the at-bat quality, the fight, the defense, and obviously, and I thought Dalton did a good job as far as with Yamamoto. I thought he really did a really good job catching the baseball, the fingers, and then got a big hit from Will.
When you talk about playing with more focus and intensity, is that kind of a test when that game gets tied there to see how you guys respond?
It is. Blake comes in and throws up a 0 and gives us a chance to walk those guys off, and It's certainly something that doesn't surprise me as far as kind of we're not going to relent. But, just to continue to strive to play good baseball all the way around is the goal. But today was a good sign. I really believe. I was pleased with today. Certainly much happier with the result, too.
Why has Yamamoto been so good the last 2 Sundays? He talked about raising his mental focus in these situations. Did you see that again today for him to succeed?
I did. I thought, when you're throwing 90 to 100 pitches, I thought the percentage of competitive pitches has been much higher. There's much fewer, non-competitive pitches. I think he did a really good job of getting strike one today and then getting the punch outs when he needed to or the early contact outs when he needed to. So he was efficient and, that's the bar. That's where, with Yoshinobu's talent, that's where he should be, each start.
Like the usage on it the last couple. What does that do to open up versus?
Well, it does, but also you've got to be able to throw the low fastball to kind of have them respect the split. And so the low dart, then the split down off of that, then it makes it tough. And then you can use the high fastball, the curve ball. And so, he clearly had really good feel for his split today.
Why do you think Tanner struggled so much, especially just keeping the ball in the park this year?
I just think if you look at kind of the spray chart, everything is middle. And he's not walking guys, but, you get good hitters, right-handed or left-handed, and if they can lock in on a certain area, they're going to have more success. And so the stuff is really good, but I do think that, when you're consistently kind of throwing to the same zone, that's the predictability part of it.
Like, how does that get corrected? Where it's like fewer mistakes leak out in the middle and maybe misses are off the plate?
Yeah, it's the irony is I think that he's more of a command guy than he's ever been, and so where you look at past years, the spray chart is kind of all over the hitting zone, and now it's very consistent, and so. So that's what guys are looking to do and looking to hunt.
Earlier this season, he kind of thought it was something in his delivery that was making him miss that way. Is that what you're seeing now too?
No, I think right now, I think his delivery is clean. The stuff is good. I think it's just more of just trying to, attack different parts of the hitting zone to kind of, keep guys chasing him as opposed to just kind of looking in one specific zone.
Wow. Look, I'm not trying to give myself credit here, but really, if you have been watching this show for months, I have been saying this thing that now it seems to be new where he was in the zone too much. So it's kind of really interesting that it's taken this long for I guess, other people to kind of recognize that maybe that's not the best way to go about things for Tanner Scott. But yeah, I am encouraged by the velocity. These guys are the best in the business at what they do. I'm sure that the great Connor McGinnis and Mark Pryor and the baseball development team of the Dodgers, they're going to find ways to optimize him. But before we get out of here, got to talk about Walker Buehler. So Buehler, he signed a minor league contract with the Phillies, and it's going to be officially official after he passed a physical, and he is eligible to be included on the playoff roster for the Phillies because he is joining Philly before September 1st. Now, he got released a couple of days ago, just flat out released by the Red Sox, signed a $21.05 million deal with them, and he's got $3.4 million left on that contract. So they'll basically have to eat that, and the Boston is responsible for that. So it's really interesting to see this because, yes, Buehler's been bad, right? 5.45 ERA, 16.5 strikeout rate, 10.8 walk rate, and 112 1/3 innings. Has not been good, but still what makes this interesting to me is the fact that even though the Phillies lost Zach Wheeler, they have a ton of rotation options with Christopher Sanchez and Suarez and Luzardo and Nola and Walker. So if he's going to be on the Phillies, he's going to be coming out of the bullpen. So that's pretty interesting. I mean, I was pretty against the idea of bringing in Walker Buehler because of the fact that you can't start him, right? There's no room for him in this rotation. But after these last couple of days with Yates and Scott, I mean, if he was willing to take on a bullpen role for a team, I mean, it wouldn't be outside of the realm of possibility to think, okay, these guys are to the point where either some other guys get injured and some other guys aren't performing well to where Walker Buehler could make sense in a new role. So that's pretty interesting to me. I thought for sure there'd be a team out there that would give him a shot as a starter, but he takes on a gig with the Phillies where he most likely is going to be used as a reliever. And then it makes you wonder, was there any contact with the Dodgers and Walker Buehler? So I'm going to try to figure some things out in the next 24 hours, see if I can get any information on that. But all right, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the Dodgers Nation post-game show. Enjoy your weekend, your Labor Day weekend, and we will talk tomorrow on Dodgers Dugout Live. We'll do a couple of comments here. Buehler sucked last season, too. He just showed up in the playoffs. That's from Dan Moreno. Exactly, and that's kind of what you think. Scott owes Yoshi a win. That's from Steven Lopez. Lucas, Scott is going to give up some game-changing bombs in October. I guarantee it. I hope not. Lucy Park, I agree with you, D-Mac. We have Love Walker, and we'd share beer with him, but uncertain about having him back. D-Mac, go get a torta. Delirium 9 in 2 weeks. We face the Phillies. Yeah, it's a great point. That'd be interesting. The Phillies versus the Dodgers. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers, who get the walk-off win thanks to the great Will Smith. The Dodgers have had 4 pinch hit walk-off home runs since 2019, and all of them have been hit by Smitty. Will Smith has a walk-off against every team in the National League West. My man is the clutch prince, and he saved the day for LA. The Dodgers still up 2 games in the division, game and a half behind the Phillies. They got an off day tomorrow before heading to Pittsburgh for a 3-game series. So we'll talk to you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your night. And remember that nothing brings together quite like Dodger baseball. Until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
Start the party, Los Angeles! Your Dodgers have won the World Series!
And when the upcoming winter gives way to spring, rest assured, once again, it will be time for Dodger baseball.